Greetings, greetings. It's so good to be here. Wow, welcome to the original show with Chris and Lisa. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, everyone. A wonderful day.
It is. It is.
It cooled off a lot. It was a little hot today. I was surprised. This is our,
How
our
was your?
Valentine's Day show, right? This is our Go Red for Women Valentine's Day show. That's why I wore red. I have my little ox in the background waiting for me.
Wow, nice. That's right. What is this year in the Chinese? I think Monday is the lunar
Yes,
celebration, right?
yes. February 15, Monday. It is
Mm.
the year of the ox. Here's my little ox. Hello, ox. And it's the metal ox. So the Chinese lunar calendar and astrology uses not only the 12 animals, but 5 elements. So it's earth, air, water, fire, and metal. And so this year it's the metal ox, which is very auspicious, right? Because ox represents sturdiness, hard work, determination, steadiness, strength. And boy, do we need all that in 2021, don't we? And then on top of that, it's the metal element, which means strength and also permanence. You know, less change. It's a more steady element than something that's changing a lot.
It's more
So
solid.
more solid, yeah. So we definitely need that in 2021. So it's a very welcome, very auspicious.
Aha.
I'm excited about it.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. We had a little bit of work done in the house, so we've been tossing things around and rearranging things. So it's a little bit of an upheaval, but we're all it's just I'm in nesting mode right now. So putting away things and taking things out. But I'm always running into little keepsakes and memories. And so, I get distracted. I'm like, oh, remember when we did this? And then we sit there and we just talk about the memory of when that thing happened. So, so it's fun, but it's slow going, as they
Good.
say.
They say it's not so much the end, but the journey.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. And this
Even
is
though
all
it
about
is
the journey right now.
exhausting, it is tedious, but it's
Yeah,
the journey nevertheless.
yeah, it sure is. It sure is.
Well,
Yeah.
Chris, for those of our audience who do not know us, why don't we just introduce who we are?
Of course, yes. I'm Chris Gota, and I'm a mother of 4 boys, beautiful boys. I'm a healthcare executive. I'm a homeschooling mom, and of course, the co-host of the original with Chris and Lisa. That's me.
Yes, the gorgeous Chris. And I am Lisa Bubari, one of the best-selling authors in the One
I'm
Habit
frozen. Uh-oh.
book. No, you're good. I can see you move.
Okay. Okay, good. It's back. My internet's
You're
been
back.
sorry to interrupt.
It's okay. I'm Lisa Bubari, by trade, clinical hypnotherapist, over 20 years of experience, stress management consultant, author, speaker, and co host of the Lisa Show. I mean, the Chris and Lisa Show. And I've got a surprise for you. I will be sharing that later. But you know what?
Ooh.
Life is good because we are here, we are present, we are live with you. And we thank you for being here with us.
Yes, very excited. Thank you for all of the emails and messages I've been getting over the past 3, 4 times that we've done this. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all of the feedback. And of course, you can always message us on Facebook, or I have an Instagram page now, Chris Gota 808. So you can find me there and send me messages there. I'm trying to get into this social media a little bit more. I haven't been, but I'm trying trying now. Oh, yeah, and there's our email now scrolling. So you can always send me messages there. Yeah. As I get better at posting, I'll do more posts. So it's a new thing for me, but fun.
Exactly. Wow. I think it was obvious what we were going to be talking about today, but I completely forgot to tag everyone and let everyone know that, you know what? The topic is love.
Love. We love love. That's okay, because on Sunday, which is Valentine's Day or Saint
Right.
Valentine's Day, we will repost this, and everybody can tune in and watch us talk about love.
That is great. So, do you have anything special planned? Not that you're going.
No, what we always do is, John does all of the planning when it comes to our occasions. So I see him
Mm,
tinkering around in the house. He's putting up, all he got me this little ox. He's putting up little signs on the windows, the zodiac, the Chinese Happy New Year. So
nice.
and I see him shopping. I see him on Instacart shopping for groceries. So I think he's got a very nice big dinner planned. And he always enlists the boys, the kids help, so they're putting something together. I'm very excited
No
about it.
one can crash that night.
Yeah, exactly. And I did get, I never really withhold candy from the kids, and really, maybe half of the kids like candy, the other half don't. But I will go out and get some of their favorite candy for this year, so
What do
everybody
you mean
gets.
by candy? Like hard candy or chocolates? What
Yeah,
is
chocolate.
candy?
Yeah, because
Okay.
Justin doesn't like chocolate. He likes gummy bears, so I'm getting him Valentine's gummy bears, and the
Okay.
other two like chocolate, so I get them chocolate. So,
All
and
right.
my
Do
other
you
my other son doesn't like either of those. He likes cash, so he'll probably get cash for for Valentine's.
Nice. Nice. Well, I celebrated my birthday last week, and you know what? Believe it or not, something is in the air because I have
Mm.
been on fire. And maybe it's the zodiac. I'm entering this metal thing. I'm like becoming so sturdy and goal oriented and passionate. Every single morning I get up, I'm doing this and this and this. It's like I am on fire
Nice.
in coming, um, standing up and coming to fruition, as I call it, in order to bring information, inspiration, affirmation, and helping people I want to serve. That's what I have come to. It's like, I'm ready. Not that I have not
Excellent.
been ready, not that I haven't done. It's just a whole new fire has ignited.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's
Yeah,
very exciting. I love it. I
it
love
is.
it. Yes, yeah. I kind of feel it too. Whenever I talk to you, you're so, like you said, on fire, so excited about everything, which is great. So it makes me
Yes.
excited about life too. It's very contagious, your
So
enthusiasm.
how is love life, love and relationships and Valentine's with a married person versus a single person? I mean, literally, let's talk about that. I mean,
Sure.
I have no Valentine. I'm going to be visiting a friend of mine on that day, and we decided, okay, we'll be each other's Valentine. But I love her to death. Eh, not to death. I love her. I don't like I just cut myself. I don't like us saying I love you to death because that's like love and death. It's wrong
Mhm.
connotation. But I love her dearly. That's a better one.
Yeah.
So catching our words of how we say things is very important. So
Yeah.
we're going to be with each other and
Great.
celebrate. And it's like work and dinner, which is great. But so, how do we do it? We go on datings, we do love. Do I really want love? And someone said, maybe you don't have someone in your life because you don't want. I mean, who does not want to have a love life or someone special in their life? But I think it comes to readiness. Were you ready when you met John?
No, not ready. Not ready. He came after me for a good solid year before I finally agreed to, you know, a to marry him and go on and have a future with him. I just wasn't convinced. I was, and not at that. You're like you said, I wasn't ready. I wasn't at the stage where I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna get into a relationship. I had been married previously, so that, and of course that didn't work out. So I wasn't into marriage. I thought marriage was like, not for me. It wasn't for me. But, with some convincing and a lot of talking and a lot of sharing, he convinced me that a life together would be absolutely fabulous. And it has been. It has been actually
It has
absolutely.
been.
It's had its ups and downs. It's had its challenges, but he is really and truly my partner in life. And those people that know us know that we also work together. So that I guess is a little rare these days to have a couple that actually works in the business together. It's not unheard of, but people always think, well, I could never work with my husband or wife. And now at this stage, we've been working together for 15 years. I can't imagine, really not working with him. He's definitely, got strengths that complement my strengths. So where I'm weak, he's strong. Where he's weak, I'm strong. So I think we definitely have that good combination to accomplish things, and we've done pretty well together. So
Isn't he a romantic?
yes, he's very, very romantic. Much more romantic than I am, I have to say. I have to admit, I could do better. But I do appreciate. I very much appreciate his romanticism. He's very romantic. Yes,
Okay.
lots of gestures and lots of, just overtures. His love language. I know, ladies, you'll be very jealous, but his love language is gifts. Loves giving gifts.
He's a giver.
He's a giver. He gives gifts all the time. So, yes, I have a lot of stuff from him.
My grandmother used to say, in a relationship, there's two sayings, and I love them both. She used to say, in a relationship, the man has to love the woman more.
My dad said the same thing. Okay, go on. Elaborate.
Okay. And it was because when he loves more, he will stay in more.
Okay.
And yeah. And then she would also say that a woman has few positions in a relationship. One is that she is the executor of the home, that she's the manager that manages everything. She's also the cook. She's also the mother. And being the wife, that means she has to keep the fire of the bedroom going at all times.
Because that's my job. Right?
Yeah,
okay.
She would say, this was the most beautiful part. She would say, when the bedroom, the temperature in the bedroom is hot and warm, the rest of the house will keep warm.
Yeah, because then there'll be lots of babies coming out, and more people means more warmth.
Well, it's like when she is happy. When she is happy, she gives. When she gives, he is happy. And when he gives, she is happier.
I see. Okay, that's very logical, actually.
So keep the fire in the bedroom at all times.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
So they don't have to go anywhere else for that heat.
Right. Knows where to find it.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense. It makes sense. And back in the day, right, it was the woman that was always at home, typically, because women back in the day couldn't work. It was illegal to have a job. You couldn't you
Yep.
vote, you couldn't work, you couldn't inherit money. So really your job or your purview was the home. And then your the only other way to make a living would be either back in the day, a farm, growing your food yourself and eating it yourself, or selling something, being in having some sort of craft, and being in that. And it's usually a lot of times, especially in Europe, men would the only other job they would have if they weren't an aristocrat is to be a soldier, and so they
Correct.
would be gone from the home. So who do you
So what is
have
one
to keep the house steady? Is the mother, the wife.
Yeah. So I wonder from our audience, what do you consider a good relationship? What is love to you? Or actually, what is the best gift that you would like to receive? What warms your heart? Because there's people who they say, I
Mhm.
want a gift, I want jewelry, I want my chocolate, I want my flowers. Okay, those are great and beautiful, but what will warm your heart? What makes you go, "Ah, I feel loved"? Chris.
What makes me feel loved is, well, that's changed all throughout my life. That's changed. When I was younger and kind of making trying to make my way through my career and through life, I was very insecure about my status. I had
Mm,
not graduated college, so I was, everything was by the skin of my teeth, and so I depended a lot on the assurance from my husband or my boyfriend at the time that what I was doing was right. Because I didn't have that. I was insecure, and I couldn't give that to myself. So I leaned on somebody else to do. And then of course that changed, and I became more mature, and then I learned to give those affirmations to myself. And so now I would say what makes me feel loved now is the recognition that I'm a good mom and a good wife. It's wanting to be around me because I am I'm either fun to talk to, that kind of thing, that I'm not forgotten, right?
okay,
Which
but for
I feel
Valentine's,
that.
what do you want? What
So for
makes you
Valentine's, what
happy?
do I want?
Is Valentine's important to you? Do you expect something on Valentine's?
No, no, I don't expect something. What I do expect nowadays is for us to be together. So it's together, because that's my love language. My love language is togetherness, touching, hugging, kissing. That's my
So
love
that is an
language.
expectation.
Physical closeness. Yes. That's what I want. I want to sit on the couch with my kids and my husband and be all together.
Okay,
If we
so
if
the
we could fit on one
expectation
couch or
is
one bed, I'd do that. Yeah.
okay. So even if you didn't get anything, no flowers, no chocolates, no nothing, just being together is important to you.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Has that
I
changed?
when
Has that
there's a
changed
thing that
because of
happens in our house whenever. So, your sound is dropping out, so I'm sorry if I'm interrupting you.
okay. My question was, has it changed for you throughout the last year because of COVID? Because everybody is like stuck at home and because the meaning of family and friendship and everything has become more solid, more identified, more profound of families. I mean, I think COVID
Mhm.
has created a space that the relationships that were not good, they either broke or became better.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have to say, I'm very lucky, and I definitely acknowledge how lucky I am that I'm in the situation with COVID, that it hasn't disrupted so much of where we are. Thankfully, we're all safe, and we haven't experienced anything adverse financially or health wise. But the one thing I have to say that we were better prepared. My family has been better prepared for the type of kind of stay-at-home isolation than I think most families
Mm,
were. We did go out a lot, but I homeschool my kids. So that whole I realize what a huge disruption that has been, because I'm on a support group for working moms and for homeschool moms, and our attendance in that group went from like a couple of thousand to now it's about 60,000 people in the support group on Facebook, because so many people are having to experience this hybrid education and distance learning, and everybody's wanting advice and all that. So I think as a family we were much more prepared for that type of quote unquote isolation, because we're used to distance learning. We're used to this type of thing where we have to be very choosy about where we go. You can't just
right.
go somewhere. You have to kind of make arrangements, and traveling is a little bit more difficult. We traveled a lot before, but that's where I think things have gotten better for us, because my husband and
Okay.
I have not been able to travel. We are kind of getting back into that family togetherness mode, and it's not just a forced thing. It's like we really just like to be around each other now.
Wonderful. The
Yeah.
the reason I'm saying it is because I have clients who have become pregnant in the last 9 months.
Little baby, uh-huh,
There's
yeah.
been I'm sure
Baby.
there's going to be a huge 2021 is going to be another baby boom
Yep. Yeah.
because of staying at home and everything. Number two, I've had to work with more teenage kids in the last 2, 3 months than ever before. And I'll give you an
Mhm.
example of one that her aunt brought her to me. She is 15 years old, and she was brought to me because she's going through a lot of depression and cannot focus. She's in depression. She feels depressed, not that she's in depression. She feels depressed, out of focus, has no motivation to do anything. So the aunt, knowing me for over 10 years, brought her niece to me saying, you know what, she needs some self-esteem. Maybe you can work with her and everything. In our first session, in our first session, she's sitting there, and as we are doing all the talk and the intake, after the intake, I'm going over everything. I look, and she is literally hurt pilling her thumb. And as you
Oh.
know, the thumb represents our mind, represents family. And as she's doing this, she starts bleeding. So I
Oh,
open my
no.
drawer. I open my drawer and I give her a band-aid. And she looks at me, she says, "Are you the magical woman? Do you have everything else always prepared and ready?" I said, "No, but this one was ready for you." So I give it to her, she puts it on, and I said, "Where else do you hurt yourself?"
Mm. Oh.
And she looks at me and she says, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm just wondering, where else do you hurt yourself?" Within 20 minutes of being with me, I find out that she has no problem focusing. Why?
Mm.
Because she's hurting herself not only here, but she's been cutting.
Yeah.
And I turned the whole table and I said, "Do you know how strong and powerful you are? You're not weak." And she looks at me and I said, "It takes a lot of strength and it takes a lot of focus for you to cut slowly in order for no one else to see, for you to bleed and still be okay. And that focused
Mm.
attention and the strength that you have, how about we talk about what is hurting and we can start the healing process that you no longer need to hurt yourself." She starts pouring him That girl has been going to a psychologist once a week for the last year. And the psychologist had never known that this girl has been cutting herself.
Mm. Wow. Wow.
So someone talked about self-care. I was on another platform. I'm on different platforms speaking and everything. And someone was talking about self-care, self-care, self-care. Many do not recognize that even though we do something negative, either eating, smoking, cheating, gambling, cutting, that is in a way focused self-care in a negative way, but it's still self-care because the time that they are
Yeah, I
doing
can see that.
this, it gives them
Okay.
comfort.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, everybody says love is unconditional. I beg different because I think everything in life is conditional.
Yeah. Yeah. Unconditional love is very difficult to find and to give, but it exists. But yeah, it's one of the challenges. Do you really love someone unconditionally? What does that mean? What does it really
Right,
mean to love someone unconditionally?
right.
Right?
So my entire thing, the reason I brought up this scenario with my client was for her to start loving herself and being kinder with herself and
Hmm.
realizing that she really doesn't have a problem with focus, but if she starts loving herself and being kinder, that she can shift this and become more loving.
Right. Yeah. That's great. I know that actually is a great challenge that for this Valentine's this year, you can, and I'm really good at that. I'm really good at showing love and appreciation to everybody else, but I'm not so good at loving myself. Sometimes I put myself last. So
Mm,
maybe the challenge this year is to do a little self-care, self-love, and just take care of yourself. Acknowledge that. Don't be so hard on yourself. I've been I've been
I mean,
hard on
take care
myself.
of myself. Don't be so
Yeah,
hard on myself.
don't be so hard on myself. Take care of myself. Don't be last all the time.
Yes, yes,
Because then it's so true, because then you can be strong and be there for the people that you love, that you want to show love. Because if you're not totally and completely exhausted and overwhelmed or full of anxiety, then you can be there for the people that you love and that need you.
in a healthier way.
Much healthier way. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So because there's all kinds of love, it says follow your heart. I love the sign. I love the sign
That's awesome.
every time. Yeah, I know. And it's only 99 cents from the Dollar King, you know? It's not
Perfect.
it's not how much we spend. It's the message and the meaning and who gave it to us that matters.
Yes. That you sound like Sister Eugenia from my 6th grade Catholic school, 6th grade, Sister Eugenia. I remember every Valentine's Day when we would do all the little classroom things and write everybody a Valentine, she would always say, "Do you know it's not Valentine's Day, it's Saint Valentine's Day?" And then she would
Mm,
go into the whole story of Saint Valentine. And it's actually a very beautiful story.
it is.
Yes, and the origin of where we say "Be my Valentine" or "My Valentine" is, he had a strong friendship with, it was during the time of Christian persecution in Rome. So, he was put in jail. Saint Valentine was a priest at the time. I think, maybe it was part of the Roman culture to not get married, because if the emperor believed that if you had a centurion who was out there in the battlefield and they thought twice about putting themselves in harm's way because they wanted to get home to their wife or get home to their family. That made them less of a soldier. So there was kind of an outlaw, or maybe it wasn't outlawed, but there was definitely a moratorium on marriages and relationships. And of course, so Saint Valentine being a very early priest in the early
Right.
Christianity, performed marriages kind of behind the emperor's back, and against the decree of the emperor of Rome at the time. So of course he's put in jail, and he develops a friendship with the jailer and his daughter, who was blind, and he taught her he taught her the classics and all that. And so they had this affectionate way of talking to each other where, is that my Valentine to you? Because she was blind. So she would call out to him when she would go down to the catacombs to visit him. Is that my Valentine? Is my Valentine's Day? Is my Valentine there? And he would return, is that my Julia? Is my Julia there?
Aw.
So yeah, it was so sweet. And of course, when he finally came for his time to go, he was martyred, beheaded. Actually, Sister Eugenia would remember, he was beheaded, and she would be very intense about it. And it was very sad. He wrote a farewell letter to little Julia, and he signed it, "Your Valentine." And so
Yes.
that's how the tradition of us calling each other Valentine. And I remember Sister Eugenia would say, yes, it was Saint. The reason for the season is Saint Valentine, which is very ironic because when you think about it now, and even I grew up as in Catholic catechism, I don't think of February 14th as the beheaded day of the beheaded saint. I think
Right.
of love and romance.
Exactly.
So the reason for the season, sorry, Sister Eugenia, it's an occasion to get kisses and hugs.
That's true. It's an occasion for sweetness.
Yes. And that's kind of how we keep the fire alive in here. Is we'd be just going about our daily routine, and my husband will say, hey, let's go sit on the couch and watch the movie, and I will always add to that, and make out. Say,
That's
yeah.
great. That's great. I dated someone who wrote a book, and one of the things he used to say, he would say, never ever break up with your lover or your partner right around the holidays, or either don't be with them during the holidays, but do never break up during the holidays. So we broke up twice. He broke up one time on New Year's Eve with me, and the other one was one day before Valentine's. And I'm like, you know what? Don't listen to this person who wrote this book. He does not do what he says.
Oh my gosh. No credibility whatsoever.
Yeah. So Valentine, it's like, yeah, it can be heated. It can be red heat or red love.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of legend around the whole Saint Valentine being beheaded. I think there's a legend about flowers growing out of his decapitated head and all this other craziness.
Oh my God.
Whatever. The point is that it is truly Saint Valentine's Day because it was the day that he was actually canonized. So in a sense, the Catholic Church won. Yay, Catholic Church won. But then at the same time, it's not about him. It's about love and romance and lots of premarital sex. So maybe Catholic Church didn't win. The pagans get one too.
Well, we like to give gifts, and I like to gift people. And what better way of gifting everyone? So I would like to say, if anyone would like to have one of my audio recordings, and it's called Attract Love, please text Attract Love to 818-221-2797. And you know what? You can definitely receive that. Yes,
Yeah.
Attract Love.
Tell us a little bit about Attract Love. What's the CD about, or what?
It's not a CD, it's an audio recording for about, I think it's about 10 minutes, or it's a small little 10-minute Attract Love. It is for you to listen And it's like a guided visualization to attract the love that you want in your life and attract abundance that you want into your life. Because, a lot of people talk about the same thing. It's like money is evil, money is bad, relationships, who has time for that? But attracting love and abundance, love can come in many ways.
Right.
It can be from a phone call. It can be you buying something for yourself. So it's being open to what is good, what is abundance, what is flourishing, and what is love. And yes, for those of us who don't have a mate, be open to receiving and attracting that kind of a love.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. Everybody can always use a little abundance, a little love in whatever form it happens to be.
Exactly.
Definitely can use that.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, we can stand in the middle of, like, when I go on hikes in the morning with my dog, and when I am with nature all the way above, looking down, and there I see the beauty of Glendale, the birds and the crows and the leaves moving ever so gently. To me, that is abundance. That is love.
Yeah, that's right. And that's another self-love that I need to do for myself. I need to get out in nature more.
Mm,
I always find something to do in the house. And that'll never end. There'll always be something to do in the house. I need to find something to do outside. Get
yeah.
my vitamin D.
Take a walk around the neighborhood. And if you
Yes.
start just doing that once a day, just go around one block
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
start doing that for yourself, and just say, that's my me time around the block, and then come back. You never know the things you will notice around the block that you probably will not when you're driving.
Right. Yeah. I know I definitely very guilty of not taking time for nature or myself when we would travel. And we were going to Hawaii every 4 to 5 weeks. And sometimes we would never even touch the sand. There would be some time outside, but it was, in Waikiki, in and out of shops. And so definitely when we get back to that, traveling to Hawaii, definitely need to make time to touch the sand, touch the water, because that is definitely
And put your toes in the sand, wiggle your
Yes.
toes, and say, I can feel every single pebble.
And that's richness and abundance that's just free to get. And I
Exactly.
should definitely do that. And it will make me feel better, make me healthier, feel younger,
Yes.
feel more energetic. I definitely need to do that.
And for our audience, we would love to hear your comments. Hopefully this message, today's episode, this is our 5th session. It was beneficial to you. And share with us, what is love for you? What can we help you become more loving, kinder to yourself? Or if you are surrounded by that, please share that. So by sharing is giving. By giving is sharing. And we thank you for being here today.
Thanks, everybody. And try
Yeah.
to, when this week, especially this weekend, try to add that little, end to the sentence. If your husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend asks you to do something, go somewhere, add the words and make out.
Ah!
See what happens.
That's a great one. That's a great closer.
So go out, go and make out.
Thank you, Chris. It's been another incredible session, an episode, and we are the originals.
Thanks,
right?
Lisa. Happy Valentine's Day. And
Happy Valentine's to you all.
Love
Bye,
you.
Chris.